I think that a lot of the bullying that you're seeing that Gypsy does is instigated by Christy. Christy has been bullying people for years, and it's been something that I have been talking to her about privately, about how unnecessary it is and how it doesn't matter, and to not get into fights with people that she doesn't know, and to stop going after creators. We actually got into quite a few disagreements about Nina. I didn't like that they were just obsessed with Nina. Even if Nina gets stories wrong, even if she spreads rumors, I mean, that's kind of what her whole thing is, right? Like, she's like a gossip girl. Like, she's talking about speculative topics. Sometimes she gets things really right, and sometimes she gets things really wrong. But that's like what her genre is. Like, she's just talking. But I don't think it's necessary. What I told Gypsy about Nina, as I said, the more you talk about her, Gypsy, the more famous you're going to make her. And that's good for her, right? Like, that helps her business. It gives her clout, and it helps her grow her business. But if you ignore her, then you don't give her exposure, and then nobody knows who she is. But if you engage with her, you're drawing attention to her that other people might not have ever seen. And they just didn't seem to like care. Like, they were just, I got upset because privately with them for bringing up the fact that she apparently lost custody of her kids, which I was just like, what does that have to do with what she's saying about you? Even if it's true, what does that have to do with her and what she said about you? Nothing. So you're just attacking for the purpose of attacking, to deflect the criticism that she's giving you. That's just my example with Nina. And there's plenty of people that speculate about her, not just Nina. But what I also don't love about her targeting Nina is that Nina's not a large creator. She's an African-American woman. It doesn't look good in any capacity. Nina has a right to have her platform and do her thing, and she shouldn't be targeted by anyone. So yeah. Like, I haven't agreed with some of the stuff that Nina's done, but I don't agree with Christy and Gypsy responding to her. And I'll tell you what really turned me off when it came to Nina. Every day I was waking up, and I'm not saying Nina turned me off, I'm saying like Gypsy's behavior with Nina, was the video where she said she was like panini pressed, and she was like insulting Nina because apparently Nina doesn't have a man, which is irrelevant. As though like having a man is some sort of like signal to society that you're worth being someone, right? There's plenty of creators that make 5+ videos about her a day. Like, if she's gonna put herself out there and constantly invite this attention, it's telling me that it keeps telling me to join, like, Julie, it keeps asking me to join you, like, to have you join my live. And I'm like, is Julie asking to join my live, or is she not? I'm not saying what Nina's doing is okay. I'm just saying I'm only speaking to how Gypsy's responding. I'm not saying that what Nina's doing is okay. I'm just saying, like, Gypsy has a larger platform, and she has a you have brought followers to go live with you. So it suggests, okay. Makes sense. Thank you, Julie. I'm not speaking to Nina's behavior. Gypsy's the one that has the huge platform, and Gypsy's the one that has the notoriety. Gypsy's the one that has the tabloids in her pocket. Gypsy's the one that in one phone call can destroy can literally destroy anyone in the press that she wants to, including me. Like, if she wants to call TMZ about me right now, she will. If she wants to call People Magazine or Us Weekly or In Touch, she will, and she does. Gypsy 100% has TMZ on speed dial, and anytime a negative story is about to get out, she calls them ahead to set the narrative in her favor. Anytime Ryan might have said something about her, she would contact TMZ and give them a heads up about him, completely smearing him. She also did this when it came to the lawsuit with Fancy Maselli. And listen, I am not a fan of Fancy. Fancy says some things that are truthful, but Fancy goes on complete deep ends that don't even factually make sense and negate the fact that what even Dee Dee's siblings say was that Dee Dee exaggerated, fabricated, and even at times, like, abused Gypsy. Like, no one in the family is denying that the abuse happened. But Fancy wants to deny that the abuse happened. But abuse itself is not a reason to unalive someone, right? She is making money off the crime, and here's the thing. We can talk about that. With the whole making money off the crime. That's a whole thing. I actually got into a very heated conversation with Christy about this in December. Let me just say that there's been a lot of very heated conversations with Christy Blanchard, and I've had some heated conversations with Gypsy as well. And so they're probably not surprised that this was coming, because I have been trying to cut ties with them because it was interfering in my ability to report about them and about Gypsy. And I didn't want to be swayed by them to report and be some sort of like narrative pusher for them. Gypsy, I've talked to many times. I texted with her, called her, we spoke on the phone. I talk to Christy all the time. I've known Christy since 2019. Talked to Christy. I literally was on the phone with Christy for over 3 hours last week. And I mean, I've had, Christy and I, years. But yeah, so she can be a victim and a perpetrator. Yes, absolutely. But that doesn't excuse unaliving your mother. There's a lot of things that just don't, I think if you want to really know what the motive was, it had nothing to do with her wanting not to be hurt anymore by her mom. It was because she wanted to be with her boyfriend. And plenty of people have unalived their parents. There's a lot of cases where a female or a male unalives their parents for them not allowing them to have a relationship. A motive of love and control are so common. Okay, goodbye. He can't King Capticius or whatever, I just blocked him because he said to name 3 cases of someone actually unaliving a parent over a love triangle, or a love triangle like death. It's like one of the biggest motives. One of the biggest motives in these types of crimes. Love triangles. So yeah, she's definitely not advocating for anyone. So, at all. People have always keep asking me, like, how did you get connected to them? You have to remember, in 2018, there was a documentary that came out called Mommy, Dead and Dearest, okay? That made it very clear that the perpetrator was Dee Dee, and that it was framed as though Gypsy had to do this to get away from her mom. And it was like self-defense. And the public opinion in 2019 was very much in Gypsy's favor.